Coach Phil. I'm sorry to bother you.
Sorry. No, come on. Conversation.
Okay. I have a bunch of questions I want to ask you. The first one's gotta be, sometimes it's kind of hard for me to like control how I feel whenever I step on the court. And we talk about confidence. Like, how do you work on your confidence in playing basketball? Like, what's the most important thing to work to build up that confidence?
Well, I always tell athletes, this is why we work, right? This is why we spend so much time working on your skills behind closed doors. I try to use the same comparison to studying for a test. When you're in college, if you think about, you have a test at the end of the week. If you take that whole week and you don't study, how do you feel when you walk into the classroom?
I feel
unprepared, right?
unprepared.
But if you take that same week and you prepare and you study, how do you feel when you walk into the classroom? You feel confident. Basketball is the same way, right? You use the same method of thinking. When you know you have a game at the end of the week and you know you've put in a lot of time on your shooting, your ball handling, your finishing, that whole week you worked out, you feel prepared, right? If you take the same athlete who doesn't prepare that week and they try to go play, they're not as confident. So for me, athletes build confidence through the work that you do, right? That's why we spend so much time working behind closed doors. And then I always tell athletes, if you did the work, trust the work. Does that make sense? Right? You spent time working on all of your skills, trust it. That's why you did the work. And so sometimes when people really think about it like that, they say, okay, that makes sense. Right? So for me, building confidence really comes from all the work that you put in behind closed doors. And then even know that you're not going to always have a perfect game. You're not going to make every shot, but you still believe in the skills that you've worked on. So that's how I try to help athletes be confident in your skills.
For you, is it important for players to like watch a video of other players playing? Like, is it helping? Like me, I'm a player. Like, does it help me to be a better player by watching others' games?
Yes, absolutely. Look, in the NBA, probably 80% of what we do is film.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot, because we travel and we play almost every other day, so we don't have a lot of practice time. So our players and our coaches, we watch film every day of ourselves, of our opponents, and really, I use the phrase, film doesn't lie, right? It shows you what you did well, what you did bad, areas that you can improve, because sometimes as a player, you might think you did something in a game, but you go back and watch the film, you say, oh, wow, no, I didn't close out here, or I didn't box out here, or I didn't make the right pass here, or oh, I made this right play. So the film really helps you, it teaches you. As an individual player, you can watch film on your opponents. How do they run their offense? How do they run their defense? How do they guard the pick and roll? How do they guard post-ups, right? It also prepares you for your opponent. So film is everything. I think film is a great teacher of the game, and it helps you learn so many things about yourself, your team, and the opposing teams.
Okay, moving on to the next question. As I told you before, I'm a huge fan of the WNBA. And yesterday you told us about one of the players, Jewel Lloyd. And I've been watching her too since she plays in the Seattle Storm. What makes her different in your perspective?
Man, Jewel Lloyd is just a phenomenal, she's a phenomenal person. Like, if you had a chance to meet her, you would never know that she's an all-star basketball player. She's just a great person. But her love for basketball, she loves the game. She loves working on the game, and she loves competing. And she just has a very, very phenomenal skill set. She can handle the ball, she can shoot the three, she can drive to the lane, she can post up. And she spends a lot of time working on all her skills. But what I really love about her is that she is an ultimate competitor. She wants to compete. She wants to play against the best. She looks at herself and she wants to be the best. And just her spirit for the game. She's just a high-level competitor that's always trying to push herself to be great.
Because I've been watching her since forever.
Since college.
Yeah, I know, she's so cool.
And a lot of people, anytime I ask females all the time, how many of you know Jewel Lloyd? And not a lot of girls know who she is. but she's one of the best players in the WNBA. She was one of the best players in college.
Right, I've been watching her. Since she plays with Brianna Stewart in
Yes.
Seattle Storm when they won the
Yes.
WNBA champions.
Yes.
Besides Jewel Lloyd, do you have any other players that?
In the WNBA? Yeah, I've worked with Brianna Stewart. I've worked with Sue Bird. I've worked with Chelsea Gray.
I love her.
I've had an opportunity to work with some of these ladies, and they're just really good players, right? Those are Hall of Famers. But what I love about each one of them is, again, they're students of the game. They really love competing, and they love pushing themselves to be the best version of themselves every day.
I've been watching Chelsea Gray. She's so good.
Chelsea
with her handling.
She is phenomenal, and she's not very fast.
Yeah.
But she's very crafty, deceptive, and she's very skilled.
Yeah.
Between playmaking, her ability to play in the mid-range, post-ups, her three, but like she can do it all. She does it all.
I know. Who do you think gonna win this year?
I think Vegas is just so strong. I think Liberty are good too. I think Brianna really, she changes their team. Her and Sabrina are a really good combination. So look, it can be anybody's game. But I think Vegas is going to be out to prove a point to try to get a back-to-back championship.
Right. Well, Liberty won at the Commissioner Cup. Right?
They did. They did.
So it's going to be
It's going to be a tough one.
Yep. I'm waiting for it.
Gonna be
I'm
tough.
looking for it. You've been coaching both men's and women's basketball. What's the difference between both of them? Like, do you coach them or do you train them in a different way or in the same?
To me personally, I don't see any difference. I treat the athlete like an athlete. So I don't look at women's basketball and say, those are women playing. I look at women's basketball and say those are athletes. So as you can tell, we've had some training sessions the last couple of days. The way I train you ladies is the same way I train the Lakers. I look at basketball players, male or female, you're a basketball player. So to me, I remove the gender. I don't care about your race. I don't care how tall you are, how small you are. So I look at every athlete just as that. I train the basketball player just like an athlete. So I think women's basketball, is there a difference between women's basketball and men's? Of course. Men's basketball is more athletic. But I've always said that women's basketball, or women are so much more fundamentally sound than the men because you ladies pay attention to the details more. So I've always found it easier to work with women and teach because you pay attention, you want to learn, and you're really focused on the small details of the game, and that's how I coach. So there is no difference for me. Women's, men's, you're all athletes, and I treat you that way. Yeah.
That's great, Coach. And you've been coaching us for the past 3 days. If you may say something to this group of girls and also the Indonesian basketball in general, what would you say to them?
Well, for you ladies, I just love how you guys you're working hard, right? You don't make any excuses. Anything I throw at all of you, you're all trying to pick it up from every lady in the gym. So the last couple of days, I've already seen incredible growth, just with the ball handling, your rhythm, your footwork, your balance. And I understand that, a few years ago, I used to watch CLS, the women's.
Okay.
I used to watch, and I understand that the league here is no longer for women. So that makes it tough, right, for young ladies in Indonesia to dream. But I'll say to you ladies on the national team, you give the young girls hope, right? They have something to look to of, hey, these girls are still doing it. Maybe that can be me one day. So I always say, if you want to play the game, that there's an opportunity for everyone. You just have to keep going, right? And you ladies are a great inspiration to some of the young girls in your country.
That's great, Coach. Can I know who's your favorite player in the NCAA?
Well, my two favorite players right now would have to be Haley Von Leaf and Juju Watkins. Both of those ladies are really, really talented, but they're also kind of like my family. I've trained both of them for a long time, but what I love about them is their spirit. Their spirit for the game is they love basketball. They love working on their game, and they're always trying to push themselves to just be really great. So I'm big fans of both of theirs, and I look forward to watching them play this coming season.
I've been watching Haley Van Lith since she plays for her high school, and then she moves to Louisville, and then now she's in the LSU.
She's a killer.
I know the way she dribbles the ball.
She's a left-handed killer.
Right.
I call her.
She's scary.
I call Haley a smooth lefty because she makes the game look so easy, but people don't realize, man, it is insane. Like she works too much. We have to kick her out of the gym sometimes.
Wow.
But she's an incredible hard worker. Same with Juju. Like they just have a high appetite for improving their skills, and so it's a reason why they're two of the top basketball players in the country.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach.
You did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
I love talking to you, and I hope by you coming here, it's gonna be a great chance for the group of girls to.
Yes, you ladies keep working. I look forward to coming back next summer.
We're waiting for you, Coach.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.